Get me a 40 dog of Schlitz malt liquor. Wash that bad boy down. That time again, time for another solo overnighter in the woods. And once again, if it ain't raining, we ain't training. Here we go with part 2 of our gear dump series in the woods. Let's get to it. Alright, last video was titled Solo Overnight Minimum Kit Gear Dump in the Woods, or something to that effect. I went in depth on what you can carry inside this old school military harness and gave a good example of what I would consider a minimum kit. We talked about these items right here, needs versus wants, the 10 C's, and went from there. Took the gear out to the field and got her done. So today's video is a part 2. I want to elaborate and show an actual backpack and items that I would put in that backpack. I'm going to preference this whole thing with this. These same items were scaled down for this kit. I want a similar set for a larger backpack. 2 is 1, 1 is none. I can now leave my backpack and those items at my camp and patrol around with my harness and still meet all of my needs. Or my canoe dumps, I lose my gear, I become separated from it for some reason, I have a second set on my person. So you see how all this stuff goes together. It flows together and it all works together. So if you have not seen that video, 2 things. 1, I suggest you go back and look at it. You'll get an in-depth, probably good 10-minute tutorial on what I carry, and I'll explain each item. Second, if you haven't seen that video, I'll give you a quick recap of the items only, with no talking. To make this easy, we'll go ahead and erase all this down here. And we talked about our minimum kit, which is the first 5 C's. We have a cutting tool, cordage, container, cover, and combustion. We're going to do the exact same thing for our backpack. We're going to scale it up though. So let's kick this off with our cutting tool. This is a version of my knife that the Pathfinder knife shop carries. It's hardly ever in stock, so if you get a chance to get one, good luck, and I appreciate the business. It's a full tang, means it passes all the way through the handle, or the blade passes through the handle. It's a 3/32 thickness, and we're looking at about a 5.5-inch blade with a Scandi grind. Any type of knife will do, but for a primary go-to knife, once again, we want a full tang knife where the blade passes through your handle. Last time we talked about redundancies, means more than one. We showed our harness, we carried a cutting tool, we actually had 2. Once again, I have a full tang knife in my pack, so we're going to add 1 more star to this. Now, because we're dealing with a backpack for a longer term stay, we can build larger projects, beef things up, improve our structures, improve our shelter, chop firewood, make life a lot easier. We're going to carry some type of axe or hatchet. Along with that, I want some type of folding blade saw, either a Silky Gomboy or in this case a Baco Laplander. This way I can cut firewood, I can cut the materials I need for my shelter a lot faster and get the job done. These are small and compact. For me, I don't want an axe or a hatchet any longer than my fingertip to my elbow. That's about 19 inches, 18 to 19 inches. And I can place it on the side portion of my pack. And the overall weight here is about 2.5 pounds. But again, 2 is 1, 1 is none. In this case, we have 3. So we have 2 more cutting tools we can add to our redundancy list. Last time we talked about the differences between paracord and bank line. I'm not going to go back into that. Check out that previous video. But again, this is 100 feet. I have 100 feet in my harness, 100 feet in my backpack. Something else we can add to our redundancy list. Now we're going to talk about containers. Once again, it's a redundancy. So we'll mark that bad boy off right now. There we go. And I want some type of container in my backpack. Once again, in case I'm separated from my gear, I can have all my needs met. This is a wide mouth stainless steel bottle from Self-Reliance Outfitters. It's exactly 1 quart and it will get the job done. I showed these same items last week. I have a second set that I place into my pack. A ferrocerium rod, Bic lighter, instant gratification, first time every time. We showed the difference between a Zippo lighter and a Bic lighter. Bic lighters will float. That in itself, I get dumped over in my canoe into a creek or do a stream crossing to get to the other side for an emergency and the current pulls everything out of my pocket or my canoe flips. There goes the Zippo to the bottom of the creek or the bottom of that river or that lake. Bic will actually float. So that in itself, boom, I'm taking it first time every time. Also, we can rescue this within seconds and I get flame again. So I'm going to choose this every time. I showed these last time as well, these fire starters from Self-Reliance Outfitters. Instant gratification, hit with a Bic or I hit it with my ferro rod, instant flame, and I can dry my tinder out, start a fire, get myself warm. But again, all this gear is on my Self-Reliance Outfitters affiliate link in my description box. You can go there and check it out, and I believe it shows the colors and things like that. This was made for their hammock system, but I'll carry it for any type of shelters I have to do. It actually rolls up and it folds up into a tiny little pouch, and we're talking the size of a softball. So that can just go to the bottom of a pack, no problem, and then you just open it right up and all the wrinkles will actually come off of it. Got their logo right there. This is my favorite one because it will fit me, a raised bed, all of my gear inside there, and we're good to go. So again, you want some type of cover system, which is now a redundancy, and frees up my poncho from last week's video that I could put over my body in case it rains, or use a poncho to cover my firewood. So you see where we're going with this? Multiples will save your butt. So the rest of this madness you see in front of you right here is basically health and comfort items. Right here, health and comfort. Do I need any of these? The answer is no. But will they make my life a lot easier out in the woods? Yes, they will. And I have a large enough backpack that will facilitate them, so why not bring them or some version of them? Let's go ahead and briefly go through them and then get out in the woods. Last week I mentioned not having a blanket. Well, guess what? The Helicon Swagman roll does just that. It's going to be summertime here shortly. It's late spring, and this is the equivalent of a beefed up whoopee from the military. It's got a hood on it as well, so I can drape it over my body and use it as a poncho liner. There we go. And technically, it's another cover. So we have 3 of those. I have a titanium shovel. Now someone's going to say, why not an E-tool? Well, an E-tool is actually heavier than this. This is all titanium. You see me cook food on this. People say, well, it's going to ruin the temper. There's no temper on this. This is not carbon steel. It's titanium. And we have titanium cook sets and cooking implements. I can dig a hole and actually go and drop a deuce in the woods, or I can dig a trench around my tarp or my tent and have the water pour into that and be funneled away from my campsite. I can also dig an actual fighting position if I wanted to, or a berm as a windscreen or a wind block for my fire. There's a lot of things you can do with this. And if I have a backpack, why not bring it? So moving on to our propane butane stove, I found that these things perform a lot better in the spring and summertime than they do in the winter. Butane propane mixes want to freeze up, but again, instant gratification. Worst case, what could I do with this? Instead of trying to light a fire with this, I could light this, then get that damp wood dried out really quick. I could use it in conjunction with some type of cook set we'll talk about here in a minute, and thoroughly cook my food. So if you have the room, why not bring it? Bedroll cook set I'm going to talk about right here. I've shown these several times over the past 3 years, 3.5 years. They're made at my house. I don't make them, but my fiance does. And she actually builds this stuff in our garage, in her shop. And they drop for 50 to 100 every other week, somewhere in there, 50 to 100 sets. So they're very limited, but once they drop, they sell out probably in a couple of hours. You have a grill, a fork with hooks on it that actually holds the grill, and you actually stab this in the ground, and it will actually have a swing arm on here that can be adjusted over the flame and move left and right. So pretty simple design, very effective. Next item on there is tool maintenance. I talked about this a couple of videos back. This is a leather strop. I will never use stones again because I keep my axe and my knives razor sharp. Once I'm done using them, I'll just simply strop it. The proper way to use a strop is to go backwards on the blade. You're not doing this with the blade, you're going opposite, if that makes sense. Dragging it away, X amount of times on each side, and then I'll go ahead and get that burr knocked off and hone the blade and keeping it razor sharp. You always want to think about tool maintenance while you're out there, especially for several days. Stuff gets dull. Keep it sharp. We have a shemagh in our harness. I carry an extra one in my bag. We've already talked about the simplicity and the beauty of a shemagh or 3x3 cotton bandana. I won't get back into that. Check out the previous video and we talk all about this. Tent stakes, ordinary plastic ABS tent stakes. I threw in 1 or 2 of these metal ones as well. I don't care, I use them both. And you see me make them in the woods. Making them in the woods requires time to make them. If it's dumping rain and you want to get out of the rain right now, you can throw a tarp up, have pre-made stakes, and you're out of that rain in less than 2 minutes. I have videos from way back actually showing a 2-minute shelter, and I'm out of the rain. So if I have the room in my pack, why not bring pre-made tent stakes? We have a solar powered charging station. It's a charging station, but it does a whole lot more. See if I can get this thing to turn on here. Gonna hold it down. They have a flashlight as well, okay? And a strobe light, and I believe there's a high and low on there as well. There we go. Well, get the thing to turn off here. There we go. We have 2 ports on here, so you can charge 2 things at once. It can be charged at home. Now, here's the reality of something like this. I bring it because we have the option of using the sun to charge this charging station. I left it out all day. Full view of the sun. It took 12 hours of sunlight, and I had 1 bar. As soon as I plugged something in there, it lasted about 15 minutes, and the bar was gone. So this would have to sit out for several days to get fully charged. But it's an option. So choice is yours. I can charge phones 4 or 5 times, and I believe a laptop 2 or 3 times. This was found on Amazon, so it's on my Amazon affiliate link in my description box. Now, a thermarest. I am a fan of the folding ones. They fold up. Military, when I was in, had those nasty round ones you get to roll up, and the minute you got done, it wanted to unroll itself. You're trying to fight with it and use bungee cords on it. This thing will compress down. I believe it's 6.5 feet in length, and I've used this over and over and over and over and over again for over 3 years in my videos. Same exact one, the small minor rips in it, but this thing is probably the best investment I've ever spent money on, because this lasted that long with no problems. Got the accordion style, yellow here. That's with the intent to reflect heat, but I don't know how well that actually does. The important thing is it does eliminate conduction or your body's contact with the cold ground, sucking your heat away from your body, making you cold. I have a video, 2 videos where I put this in the snow and slept inside of a snow shelter with this, and I did not feel the cold go through this. So I'm happy with this. All the gear in my videos can be found in 3 places. 1, my Amazon influencer page, and 2, my Self-Reliance Outfitters influencer page. If you're interested in Corporals Corner merchandise, that can be found on Teespring. All 3 links are found inside my description box. So right here we got a low profile stealth shelter, and it worked out great. We're probably about not even 2 feet off the ground, but the beauty is I can actually turn around inside there. I can trap 100% of my body heat. If it rains, we're covered all the way around. I can actually scoot back inside this shelter. So I'm thinking we got a low profile shelter, let's get a low profile fire. So we're going to go ahead and scratch the Dakota fire hole idea because we have 2 tree roots. One's right here and one's right here, and they're both about that big around. And I'm not gonna try to hack through that. So 10-inch deep bowl, keep the flames low. Same idea. If you like what you see here, please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. Then take it a step further, grab your cell phone, download the free YouTube app and sign in. This will give you push notifications when my new videos drop. And that's what we're talking about right there. Yardbird burned to a crisp. Let's get me a 40 dog of Schlitz malt liquor. Wash that bad boy down. Take you all a few. Oh yeah. Nothing like waking up to the sound of rain. Tell you what, it's gonna dump all day and all night. But the beauty is, I'm dry. This low profile shelter worked out. Just kind of debating starting a fire because it's kind of pointless. But the entire bowl is probably full of water too. Looking like a toilet, which that don't sound half bad right now either. Before we get started with coffee, the Etsy page is live. Check out my description box, click on the Etsy link. We have these small number 39, 39 and a half, and I believe number 40 120-year-old skillets. We have military mess kits. We have cowboy tin cups, I think some enamel plates this week, and I believe some military gear as well. So once again, my Etsy page is live. Go to my description box, click that link, and good luck. Nothing like coffee in bed. Talk about the shelter real quick. So simple, it's stupid. 8x8 Silnai tarp from Self-Reliance Outfitters. We have a different type of configuration, low profile A-frame that's suspended from the loops, and the back end is kind of sloped down like a pyramid, about 2 foot from the top or the peak of the tarp to the ground. This poncho and Helicon Swagman will turn into a whoopee or a sleeping bag. Actually, I was too hot in here. I trapped so much heat and it's starting to become humid that it was almost unbearable. So just simply laying here. Fire lasted till about 2 o'clock in the morning. Just tossing some wood inside there. The smoke kept any mosquitoes at bay, and I was fine. So something to think about while you're out there. Let's go ahead and end this bad boy off. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 3 places. 1, my Amazon influencer page, and 2, my Self-Reliance Outfitters influencer page. If you're interested in Corporals Corner merchandise, that can be found on Teespring. All 3 links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.